Boxing truth here. I know, second video of the day. Pretty much uncommon these days, but here it is. Second video of the day. Let's talk about a very interesting prize fight. Probably the fight I'm looking forward to most this year because it's really a fascinating fight. This is a fight you don't really get too often. It pretty much happens once every generation. And it's always the same story usually. The old champion moves over for the new champion. An end of an era, a new beginning for a new fighter, similar to what happened to Manny Pacquiao over a decade ago when he destroyed Oscar De La Hoya, as that old champion moved over for the new champion. So, will Pacquiao suffer the same fate as he enters this Keith Thurman fight? Obviously, he's not going into this fight thinking he's going to get destroyed. Obviously, Manny and his team believe they will win the fight and win convincingly. And they have every right to believe that, as do many boxing fans who feel Manny Pacquiao will stop Thurman or dismantle him in devastating fashion. There's many reasons to think of why both guys will win. Boxing history suggests Keith Thurman will win the fight. But if anybody in this boxing game can defy the boxing gods, can turn the tables of pretty much a same story that goes on in the sport every 10, 15 years or so, every single generation. The old champion moves over for the new ones. But is this that fight? I'm not so sure, which is why it's very fascinating to me, which is why the Vegas odd makers don't even know who's going to win this fight. It's truly a 50-50 fight. Thurman, undefeated, 30 years old. You would think in the prime of his career. But heading into this fight, inactivity, long layoffs, disappointing promises, broken promises, disappointing performances, no statements being made ever since Thurman went into the championship level. Life and death struggles, unsatisfactory performances, getting rocked, almost getting stopped by no-hopers, looking vulnerable in this number of fights. So you really can't pick with great confidence for either guy. You really can't make a wager in this fight with any great confidence. But looking at everything involved, heading into this fight, looking at where both guys are at in his careers, and you look at the history of the sport, it really suggests that Thurman will win this fight. But this is a different case. This is a different example. Manny Pacquiao is not shot. Manny Pacquiao is still an elite fighter, whether you guys want to believe that or not. Yeah, his record has been tainted. It says 7 losses, but that's not the truth. The truth is Manny Pacquiao hasn't lost in 7 years, ever since he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. And because of that, it pretty much changed him in a different fighter. He's not as explosive, he's not as dynamic offensively, doesn't throw as many punches, but he's a smarter fighter now. He's a better boxer now. He's a master boxer now. He is defensively a lot better than he was 7 years ago when he got KO'd. He's smarter. He's more patient. He has a higher boxing IQ. He is a master boxer. And he pretty much just outboxes his younger opposition now. He's proven that he can hang with big welterweights like Jeff Horn. He's proven that he still has the power with the way he hurts everybody in that ring. He doesn't get knockouts anymore, but you have to point out that he hurts everybody he's in the ring with. Even Floyd Mayweather, he buzzed him a couple of times in their fight and exposed him with not even at 100%. I know the Mayweather fanboys don't want to believe that. They don't want to accept that. Yes, the official record books say that he won, but we all know that the true boxing fans know who won that fight. which is why this makes this fight so interesting, so fascinating, because Thurman, even though he's younger, appears to be fresher, he's the one that has got injuries coming into this fight. He's the one that's been with the layoff, with the inactivity. He's the one that hasn't been living the lifestyle of a fighter. Manny is still in shape, still loves to fight, still has the passion for boxing, still wants to compete, still wants to prove that he's the best. And there's really no definitive answer on who's going to win this fight, which just makes it so intriguing. Like Manny says, this is a once-in-a-generation type fight. You don't get these fights too often. And will this be the one rare case where Pacquiao defies the boxing gods? He turns back the clock. He has another great performance. It's not out of the question that he knocks out Thurman. I mean, Thurman hasn't really showed much durability throughout his career. He's shown a lot of heart. But when Thurman said he's going to make a statement in this fight, I really have a hard time believing that. When has Thurman made any statements? I mean, when was the last time Thurman made a statement? Can you guys even remember that? If you can't make a statement against Robert Guerrero, if you can't make a statement against Luis Collazo, if you can't make a statement against Sean Porter, or even have a definitive statement against Danny Garcia, what makes me think you're going to do it against Manny Pacquiao? A guy who will beat all those guys. Even on his worst night, he will beat those guys of the names that I mentioned when it comes to Keith Thurman's past opponents. Those guys are not on Manny Pacquiao's level. Not even this 40-year-old version of Manny Pacquiao. It's very possible Manny will knock out Thurman with a body shot. Because I know that's what his team is gunning for. They're going to attack the body. They're going to look to exploit some of the durability weaknesses that Thurman has. Thurman's going to get hurt in this fight. The question is, will he get knocked out? Will he recover and continue to and be able to survive and last the distance? Because that's all Thurman needs to do in this fight. He just needs to make it close. He just needs to make it to the final bell, and PBC will do the rest for him because they want him to win this fight. He's the younger guy. He's the undefeated guy. He's the super champion. And they want to make an eventual unification between him and Errol Spence. That is the plan here. But Thurman has to perform. He's got to make this statement that he has failed to make in a very long time. The last statement performance, I would say, is Diego Chavez. An undefeated guy that he fought, that he had a tough fight with, got rocked, came back, showed heart, and stopped. He hasn't done that since. That was, over 6 years ago now? And now heading into this fight, coming off a weak performance, getting rocked by Josesito Lopez, going the distance. Can't even make statements against a plotting type opponent like Josesito Lopez. So what gives any Thurman fan any confidence that he's going to knock Manny out, that he's going to make a statement? He has a counter-punching ability to perhaps make something happen. But Manny's a much better defensively gifted fighter now. He can still be countered, but not as clean as it used to be. Manny's a lot harder to hit now than he was 7 years ago. Manny's a lot smarter now than he was 7 years ago. Manny's a better boxer now than he was 7 years ago. The only thing that he's not better in is his punch output and his explosiveness. But he still punches hard, and he still has the speed. This is a truly fascinating fight that I cannot wait to see. It's pretty much the fight of the year in terms of the matchup, because people really can't pick a clear winner. Not even the Vegas odd makers. Manny's only a plus 100. It's amazing that a former flyweight, 40 years old, still has a great chance of beating an undefeated young champion like Keith Thurman. I'm looking forward to the fight. I really don't know who wins. This is the one fight where I'm stumped. I can't give a prediction. Anything can happen. Boxing history says Keith Thurman will win. But if it's anybody that can turn the page or flip the script on this similar story that happens in boxing every generation or so. It's the one and only Manny Pacquiao. He's truly special. He's a once in a generation, once in a lifetime type fighter. Is Keith Thurman going to beat Manny Pacquiao? Thurman hasn't done anything special in his career. Hasn't really shown that he's an elite fighter as of yet. Not compared to what Manny's done in his Hall of Fame performances. He made statements against Hall of Famers. Thurman can't even freaking make a statement against Luis Collazo. So maybe that signifies what happens in this fight. Perhaps Manny Pacquiao knocks out Keith Thurman with a body shot. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.